People of the world, welcome back to the Busy Business Owner, the only show on the internet hosted by someone who puts their Christmas lights up the day after Halloween. Today's topic is, dare I say, thrilling. UTM codes and CallRail. Yeah, you heard me right. Hold on to your keyboards, it's gonna be a wild ride. Now, before you leave, hear me out. Tracking your Google Ads conversions isn't just for the data obsessed. It's for anyone who'd rather not pour money into a black hole. And yes, I'm talking about your ad budget. So let's get into it. Today, I'm walking you through the magic of UTM codes and CallRail. Because what's the point of paying for clicks if you can't see where they're coming from? Or worse, if they're even doing anything at all. All right, let's kick things off with a little thing called UTM codes. Imagine you're throwing a party and you want to know which one of your friends is actually fun. Well, UTM codes are like sending out invites that secretly tell you who brought the chips, who brought the salsa, and who just showed up with nothing but an empty stomach. In marketing speak, UTM codes are tiny snippets of text you add to your URLs, letting you track exactly where your visitors are coming from and what campaigns are actually working. UTM codes come with some jargon that makes them sound fancy, but really, it's just a little tracking info tacked onto the end of your link. We're talking parameters like UTM source, for you guessed it, the source, UTM medium, think email, social, or paid ads, and my personal favorite, UTM campaign. Why is it my favorite, you ask? Because it actually tells you which campaign is working. Imagine that. These codes are like giving Google Analytics a pair of glasses. Suddenly, you can see if that super awesome January sale is paying off or just taking up space. Because without these, you're pretty much running around blindfolded. CallRail. No. Not the name of a trendy bar or the next ride-hailing app. CallRail is a tool that lets you track phone calls. Yep, good old-fashioned phone calls. You remember those, right? For any business where your lifeblood is customers calling in, CallRail is like having a bouncer at the door who tells you exactly who's coming in from your ads. Here's the deal. CallRail uses unique tracking numbers, so if someone clicks on your Google ad and calls the number on your website, it knows it's a Google Ads lead. No more guessing if that call was a genuine lead or just Aunt Marge calling in for a chat. Or spam. Or someone who wants a job. And here's the best part. It can record calls too. Now, before you panic, this isn't about spy-level surveillance. It's actually to help you gauge call quality and refine your sales pitches. Maybe your team is crushing it. Or maybe the sound of awkward silence is filling most of your calls. Either way, it's good to know. Now, here's where the real magic happens. Let's say someone clicks on your Google ad with a UTM code, browses your website, and finally picks up the phone. CallRail tracks that call and voila. Now you've got the complete picture of how they found you, which ad roped them in, and ultimately whether they were worth your time. It's kind of like piecing together a detective case. The UTM code tells you how they found your business in the first place, and CallRail lets you track whether they actually called. You're the Sherlock Holmes of your own business, man. Who doesn't want that? Case study. So let's do a little role play. Picture this. You run a local HVAC company and your Google ad campaign for emergency heating repair is getting clicks. But are those clicks turning into calls? You have no clue. In a haze of desperation, you decide to start tracking with UTM codes and CallRail. Now suddenly, you see that most calls are coming from your 24-hour service campaign. Good news. So you shift more budget there. 2 months later, you're in a warm office, sipping coffee, knowing you've maximized every dollar of ad spend. CallRail and UTM codes saved the day. Let's get you started before you change the channel. Here are some quick tips. Numero uno, set up UTM codes. You don't need to be a tech wizard, just Google Google's URL builder and follow the steps. I promise it's less painful than it sounds. And numero dos, integrate CallRail with Google Ads. It's one small step that lets you see if your ads are bringing in actual calls or just ghosts of leads that never materialize. And of course, en número tres, monitor your data. Don't just set it and forget it. Check back regularly to make sure things are working and that your money is well spent. I like looking at the leads themselves. That makes me happy, gives me a little dopamine hit. Who doesn't like to see when their ads are working? So, there you have it. The thrilling world of UTM codes and CallRail. Not exactly the Christmas present you were hoping for, but for your bottom line, game-changing. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for swinging on by senderrising.com. If you want to work with us, my name is Kellen Kautzman. I'm the CEO and founder of this particular organization, and we're doing all sorts of amazing things. So feel free to swing on by senderrising.com. Reach out to us. God bless you. You know I love you. We'll see you next time.